Testing, ladies and gentlemen. We are testing. We are live on YouTube. Let's take a look here. Do. How's it going? Just getting her set up here. Making sure everything's perfect. Look at that. Nice and perfect. Nice and perfect. We're about to start. We are about to start. Just want to make sure we look good. Make sure we sound good. Yuppers. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Chad Hogan Live. Thank you. Thank you for joining me. We're playing the most frustrating, the most anger-inducing, the most crazy Super Mario game ever. This is the point in Miyamoto's life when he was doing hard drugs. Supposedly, I'm only saying that because you would have to be on something to come up with Mario Sunshine. This game is not bad whatsoever. As I've said in my previous stream, it was a little disappointing, only because it was coming off the heels of Super Mario 64, which in my opinion and many others was one of the greatest video games ever. It really revolutionized the way we played video games. 3D games existed, but Mario really took it to a new level with the analog stick. Nights in a Dreams tried to come out with their own analog stick, but let's face it. Let's face it. This Mario 64 was the real deal, and I'll stream that sometime. So when Mario Sunshine came out, it was 2002. It was about 8 to 10 months after the GameCube launch. And you know what? It was a solid title, but solid title as the sequel to the greatest video game of all time wasn't gonna cut it. And this was a Mario game based off of water, which the Dolphin was very water-based, the GameCube, known as the Dolphin internally. So it made sense, but who the heck wanted a water Mario, right? Look at that beautiful water. Oh my god. It still looks good to this day. You update this game at a higher resolution and frame rate, it could be one of the most beautiful games ever. So let's go to the first world. I've got 2 worlds unlocked so far. And, boy, this game was frustrating. No, we're going to do one thing. Let's do one thing. There we go. Much better. Much better. There we go. PD Piranha Strikes Back. So here's how the star system worked. They were called shines back in these days, right? And the shines worked. You didn't just collect whatever star you wanted. Like in Mario 64, you'd go for your star, but you could collect other ones. This one, whatever one you select is what you're going for. PD Piranha Strikes Back. So it'll show you a little preview. It'll show you a preview of what you're kind of supposed to do, which is very important. Okay, so it's somewhere up here. Here's a clue. There's PD Piranha. So we got to look for PD Piranha. Dun, 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 dun. Look at how good this looks. Yes, it does. So 2002. I'm a little disenfranchised with my GameCube slightly. Looking back, it was a great system, okay? But you gotta put yourself in the shoes of an 18-year-old, what we would consider now Gen Z, an 18-year-old millennial. Back then, I have my Xbox, I have my GameCube, I had a PS2, and I was gonna get one again for Vice City. I was a traitor, and something I regret to this day because I didn't keep all my shit. For those who kept all their shit, you still have it. That's awesome. but I would trade as a form of currency. So I bought Mario Sunshine on day one. I pre-ordered it. And I liked it a lot, but I just knew, kind of like the Star Wars prequel trilogy, I just felt that something was off. Still holds up like the prequel trilogy, still great. But this wasn't Mario 64, folks. We were a long way from Toto, Kansas. Big-headed thing from the windmill. Let's go get this X first. So back then, it took a while for Nintendo to show Mario Sunshine. Even with the GameCube launching, Nintendo did not show off Mario Sunshine yet. And Miyamoto had stated in interviews, Shigeru Miyamoto, the lead designer of all things Nintendo, well, the games at least, that he didn't want the competition stealing his ideas. And when this game came out, it was kind of made fun of through some of the gaming journalists, like, who wants to steal, who's going to steal this idea? It's a water device, right? Sony wasn't going to run around and grab this idea and be like, oh, look, we can make our own. Sony would have their own Mario 64, which I will play on the stream as well, called Jak and Daxter. And Jak and Daxter was... What just happened? I think I just fell through the floor. Game over. I just fell through the floor. Well, anyways, Jak and Daxter was Sony's answer to Mario. It was phenomenal, okay? It was great. It was better than this. Jak and Daxter 1 and 2. I haven't played 3. We'll play them on the stream sometime, champs. So let's take a look at where PD Piranha is. So it's up here somewhere. It's beside the windmill, okay? It's beside the windmill. So we won't do that again. The game's physics are great, you know, sliding down the water, flying around with your jetpack. It was cool, like, it was a good idea. And you know what, it wasn't half bad. If I go back in time, I'd say, self, don't sell your GameCube. I eventually did for PS2 and Vice City. But boy, oh boy. There was a lot of excitement. This game carried over a lot of features that Mario games would carry over, like those little mini Mario levels, the hardcore old school ones. Where's PD Piranha? Where is that piranha? It was beside the plant, right? I think it was over here. But I like playing this game, not only because it's a fun Mario game, but it brings me back in time, you know? 2002, that's 23 years ago. That blows me away, folks. Like, 23 years ago? Are you kidding me? But yes, I kid you not. I hated those enemies. Aiming this thing was challenging too. This game went against, this was a hardcore Mario title, okay? It went against the grain. Because Mario titles were meant to be, you know, pick up and play, challenging. Oh my goodness. The one thing they did that I absolutely hated, they got rid of Mario's ability to punch. And you'd use this thing, right? But this is just not as easy as punching. So I need 8 of those blue coins to talk to that one guy. The other thing I hated, you can pull the camera back so far. I love that. But you can never see where you're trying to go. This game had a huge issue with the camera. Look at it. I don't know where I'm going. The camera's just like shows me the viewpoint of the wall and the floor. Like if you're gonna pull it that far, let's pull it a little farther, folks. So let's get up there and see where we gotta go. I do not see PD Piranha. This game was like Miyamoto's way of dismissing or denouncing pollution. I think he was mad that there was so much pollution and stuff. Like, you know, why bring that in, Mario? Why bring that in? Why pollute Mario? Just because you hate pollution doesn't mean we all hate pollution. You know what I'm saying? I like pollution. It's fun.
Mario.
It gives us the things we need. Without pollution, we wouldn't have energy and candy wrappers and stuff. Alright. Where are we going here? Pretty good view distance, so like the N64 could not handle this. Alright, it's up there. How do we get up there? No! Game was such a tease sometimes. Fill up my flood. That little machine is called the flood device. It even has a voice. And it goes, Mario. That's all it basically says. We gotta get up here somehow. Do, 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 do. Well, let's try going in here. There's something over there. This is one of my nozzles. The Gas Science hover nozzle. But what does it do? Excuse me. See what I mean? Just so frustrating. Imagine this came out before Mario 64. I think people would have hated it. This game was the N64 launch title. Where are we going? Blue coin. At least the game gives you rewards. Like, those blue coins are important. You do go pretty high. Like, it is impressive, the draw distance and whatnot. But fighting the camera and trying to judge your velocity with FLUDD, it was insane. Insanely difficult. A good showpiece for the GameCube controller. I'm using a controller that's very similar to the GameCube controller, actually. You see what I mean? Like, so frustrating. Such a frustrating Mario. It would be after this that Nintendo would experience several years of discomfort. Rumors of them going third party. And they would eventually release the Wii, which literally printed money. But I didn't care. Shit like this pushed me to Xbox even more. For all the people that say they hate Xbox, there was no Mario Sunshine on Xbox. And to me, that was music to my ears. Call it Halo, I was trying to say Gears of War. Call it Gears of War, Halo, Forza Box. Those games were superior to this game in every way. I don't care. I'm a huge Nintendo fan. I love Miyamoto. But Gears, Halo, and Forza were much better because those games weren't stupid. They didn't make you use a water jetpack, and they didn't change the gimmick every time a game came out. That's kind of what pushed a lot of people, I think, away from Nintendo. And Nintendo would go all in with the gimmicks. This is the one thing I hate about Nintendo as an adult. The gimmicks. It's not a wrestling show. You're not supposed to make every single game so completely different from the others. Everyone in the universe would have been just fine with a sequel to Mario 64. Give us the same game with new levels and graphics. People, probably still Miyamoto literally smoking crack. Like literally hitting a big crack pipe and then just like, you know what I mean? Seeing something on my stream. Not now. Stop it. So, I'm gonna chat. Hi. There we go. Make sure everything's fine on the interface front. Okay. I got a stream at 6800. It's telling me I don't know how to change that yet, so I'll look into it. I'm at 2800. On Xbox, you can just select your bit rate. It's an option. Hopefully, it's just as easy on YouTube. Now, I don't mean to sound like an Xbox fanboy because I'm constantly talking about how GameCube pushed me away from Nintendo, and I still haven't bought a Nintendo console since. I might buy the Switch too, but I'm very nervous that it's just going to be gimmick central. I did not like the Wii. I was not into this. I would not have sat there waggling my Wiimote. That was not a thing I was going to do. Ironically, I did buy a Kinect and I liked it for about 1 minute. It was terrible. I'm so glad the industry has gotten away from motion controls. That would have killed gaming. The only way you can do motion controls is if you have a VR headset and you're in another world. If I'm looking at my TV screen at 480p resolution, not gonna work. And Nintendo just took the GameCube and did the same thing, spent no money and made the Wii. The Wii was going to be an add-on for the GameCube, but they were smart and realized, hey, we could sell this as its own console. But what happened to the Wii? The Wii eventually just kind of dissipated because nobody wanted to waggle their Wiimotes. No! You know what I mean? Like, it's not an insult to Nintendo. It's an insult to gamers. So where am I going here? But all of that sentiment started with Mario Sunshine is the point I'm trying to make. And here I am 23 years later playing it, so guess I was a little wrong, and it ended up being a fantastic game. This is like, you know, you're so privileged and entitled in maybe the best era of gaming, the PS2 era, which contained Xbox Live and GameCube. When I say PS2, I mean all-encompassing PC games back then, phenomenal. You know, lots of great stuff going on. Steam not yet out, but going to come out. And here we are, not satisfied that Mario Sunshine isn't as good. As good as Mario 64. I mean, if you brought out a game now and it was just like okay compared to Mario 64, that would still be a 10 out of 10 game. But the standards, I think, were much higher. There was no Fortnite back then. No live services. A live service was just a game that contained online. And I really had a lot of fun with Xbox Live. I mean, going from this to, say, Rainbow Six 3 on Xbox, I had a lot more fun on Rainbow Six 3, man. But there was a huge contingency of gamers, and still are, that don't care and they love Nintendo. And that's why I'm here to represent my love for Nintendo. I still am one of them. I got a Nintendo in 1990, and it was phenomenal. I played Mario and Duck Hunt, and I think my cousin Chris, what I barely remember, my cousin Chris and Sean had a Nintendo that I would play first. I played it before I got one in 90. I was playing it in 89, right? Or no, I was playing it in 1990. I got a Nintendo Christmas in 90, but I'd go to my cousin's house and play their Nintendo. And I would play Mario 2 and Ninja Turtles. I didn't even play Mario 1. My first Mario was Mario 2. So for me, it was quite a drastic change to go to Mario 1. Where are we supposed to be going here, though? At least now I can give that guy the 8 coins that he asked for. I don't know what you get out of it. Very Sonic the Hedgehog-like, where the coins replenish your health. They clearly stole that. I mean, they did in Mario 64, to be fair. Listen to the pitter-patters of his feet steps on different things, different grounds. I really don't know where to go. The effects were good. The critics were impressed with the pollution effects, the water. You know, it looks really good. Wave Race 64 set the standard for water. But again, we're comparing it to Mario 64 and what would soon be Jak and Daxter 2 coming out within the next year. And there was just no comparison. I gotta stream that one, Jak 2. Jak 1's good too. I haven't played 3. A most frustrating experience indeed. Will you save me? Thanks a bundle. There we go. So we need him to throw me, I think, this way. Or maybe this way. Simply talking to him is challenging. There we go. Yeah, almost. We just gotta get him to throw me that way. Hey, pal. Wanna throw me proper? Yeah. Yeah. Come on. Oh boy. Where's the coin? How stupid is this? This was the sequel to Mario 64, folks. And Nintendo wondered why they lost the GameCube battle to Xbox. Can you imagine Nintendo losing to Xbox now? But this is why, man. People were like, hey, we want a sequel to Mario 64. Nintendo's like, we can't give you a sequel till we come up with a new idea. People are like, we don't care about new ideas. This is the one game. It's okay if you just give us the same old, same old. And Nintendo's like, no, we have to make it brand new. We don't want the developers to steal our ideas. And then Sony was like, uh-oh, Nintendo's coming out with a new Mario. And then this happened. Extremely frustrating. Extremely frustrating. Like, not fun. I have to go and fill up my fucking water again and go and do all of that again and probably die because I need coins. Like, what were they smoking? I promise this is not alleged. Miyamoto was doing crack. There was no chance a normal-minded human being was not on fucking crack making this game. Like, I have to die at this point because I won't beat that plan. Like, you had to have smoked crack to make this game. Like, there's zero chance sober minds were like, hey, what if we call it the Flood? And what if you have to fill it up every 5 minutes? And what if it's even more challenging? You know what I mean? Like, it's insane. I'm so happy that Nintendo lost the GameCube battle because it forced them to change. And I'm pretty sure Mario Galaxy, as gimmick-ridden as that was, I'm pretty certain that game was better. I've never played it. Again, this game turned me off of Nintendo for decades. It was this game. And when they fucked Mario 64 2 up, I knew there was no hope. And then, on an unrelated topic, their next big game was Zelda the Wind Waker. And you know how people felt about that game. Yes, it's brilliant. Yes, it's great looking back. But again, at the time, Nintendo's like, here's Twilight Princess previews, and then here's the Wind Waker. So, like, Nintendo's literally trolling their audience, and their audience trolls them back by buying an Xbox. And Nintendo's like, huh, what went wrong? What happened? How come nobody's buying GameCubes? Within 6 months of this game coming out, the GameCube dropped its price to $99 American. Within 6 months. And the PlayStation 2 and the Xbox are happily selling at $299 each. It was insane. And people legitimately thought Nintendo was finished. Like, there was no hope. Now, again, we've seen what happened with the Wii. We've seen what happened with the Switch. Nintendo had lots of hope left. And that's why, for anyone to discount any company, even Xbox, is facetious, because it changes with every console generation. Nintendo was very successful with the Switch, and history has always proven that every other generation Nintendo gets challenged. So the Switch 2, you mark my words and remember this video, Switch 2 is the next 3DS. Switch 2 will become the next 3DS. It will sell well. It'll sell half the amount of units that the Switch sold. See, now I gotta go refill my water up. Who's coming up with that? Where is that fun? And the water's so far away, slimed by this pollution that auto-regenerates every time you repopulate the level. There's no continuity. Like, it's so nice that Nintendo had to drop the price. I was so happy. I was like, you know what? Nintendo's learning. And this was a huge time for Nintendo taking notes, because Xbox was smashing them at this point, and Xbox had no goodwill built up. They still don't. But like, nobody wanted a GameCube back then. You couldn't give these things away, and it was shit like this. Nobody wanted to play Mario Sunshine. Nobody wanted this shit. Nobody asked for it. Look how frustrating this is. You gotta get this guy looking the opposite direction of you, just so you can like avoid these enemies. He walks back into the slime, and you gotta unslime him, and then you gotta go and refill your water just to go up there to shoot the infinitely spawning enemies that you'll have to jump back down to refill your water and go back up just to get this shine. Look at him, he's still getting dirty. And these guys don't stop. Like, these guys do not stop regenerating. You will fill up your water 100 times before getting a single shine. It was the most frustrating Mario game ever, and it was a sign of things to come. After this, for the next 5 years, they would struggle, 3 to 5 years. And then the Wii would come out, and all the simps would buy the Wii. All my simpy friends were like, oh, look at the wiggle. You can play Wii Sports, except for Mike. But like, everyone loved the Wii, and I was always like, it's just a GameCube. It looks worse than the GameCube. But nope, oh, the Wii. And I was like, yeah, but 360's better. And what's regarded as the best console of all time? PS2 and 360. What is Wii regarded? Looking back, Wii was critically acclaimed at the time, but nobody gives a shit about the Wii anymore. Sorry to say. Hello there, Aiden, George. How's your foot, buddy? Look at that, we got a chat going. I'm complaining about Nintendo, and I got 2 Xbox boys with me here. That's where the action's at, folks. And I happily play Game Pass to this day. Nintendo converted me into a Game Pass subscriber back in 2002. I've spent very little money on Nintendo since in 23 years. I bought a 3DS. I admit, I messed up and bought a 3DS. But even that was a disappointing system. I feel like Switch 2 is going to be disappointing, and I'm not trying to antagonize Nintendo fans. We have to be able to look at where we're at in the gaming sphere. The Xbox One was disappointing, was it not? It hurt their stance in the gaming industry. Okay, like, I can admit that as an Xbox fan. They fucked up with the One. The Series X is a really good system, but they're going third party, so it's hurting their reputation with gamers. I can admit that, okay? But I also could admit back then that the GameCube was not anywhere close to the PS2. And people who could not admit that were lost and blind. And they were just stuck in Nintendo fan view. This was by far the least fun Mario game that they had ever released. They should have... all we wanted was Mario 64 2, and Miyamoto's like, nope, I'm not doing anything till I come up with an idea. I know. What if we give him a jetpack? Except we already made Pilot Wings, so we'll make it full of water. And you have to refuel every 5 minutes. It'll be great. And you're like trying to figure out what the fuck while avoiding all these idiots. And it's just the enemy in this game is pollution. Like, in Canada, we have something called a Green Party. And the Green Party's #1 priority is pollution. Okay, but nobody gives a fuck. And like, pollution's bad. Like, I was just joking when I said I liked pollution earlier. But nobody wants to play a Green Party video game. This game would have been sponsored by the Liberal government or the Green Party. It would have been Mark Carney's wet dream to have a video game where you clean up pollution. The only thing missing from this game is a carbon tax. Literally. This should have been called Super Mario Carbon Tax. It's just, this is insanely not fun. This is not fun. This was the worst part of the game. Just cleaning up the pollution, going back down, having to refuel my water, having to get that guy to jump me back up. It was so not fun. Super Mario Carbon Tax. That's what we're gonna call the title. And by the way, the cameraman should have been fired from this game because it is awful. These guys are just gonna keep polluting the guy, you know what I mean? I don't mean to make this a stream of complaining. You just have to like see where my mindset is. Why an Xbox gamer is an Xbox gamer. Because you're eagerly awaiting the GameCube. I got the GameCube 4 days before launch. I'm positive I was the first person in Hamilton to own a GameCube. I'm positive. Nobody else worked at Microplay and got a GameCube 4 days before. There was only one Microplay in Hamilton. EB Games wasn't giving their guys GameCubes 4 days before. It's just, I know how the system works. And Nintendo literally went right in my face, and I was just like, huh, really? Now where's the guy? Where's my friend? Still covered in pollution. Still wasting water on this guy. Now, there's no star in Mario 64 that took this long to get. And this much frustration. Insanity. Nintendo deserved everything they got. And with the Switch 2 and their $110 games Canadian and the $630 price point for an underpowered system that is the equivalent of an Android tablet, they're gonna get what they deserve too. You mark my words, you hold this stream to me. The stream will still be up in September and June. The Switch 2 is gonna sell out right away like hotcakes. It's gonna be hard to find, just like the GameCube was. And then within 6 months, they're not gonna be able to fucking sell these things at $630 because nobody's gonna do it. Everyone that wants a Switch 2 will just buy a PS5 or a PC because consoles are getting to the point where their price points are PC price points. If I'm going to spend $700, I'm going to take another $700 and just build a really good PC. And I know not everyone thinks like me, but I'm not spending 600 Canadian plus tax, plus a game, plus a memory card, plus a subscription so I can play Mario Sunshine when I'm already playing it, folks. And guess how much I paid for this game? Ya got her. Ya got her. Thanks, you saved me a bundle. So he does nothing? Is there anything? These things just don't stop. We just need something to bonk away. More stupid Nintendo gimmicks. You're trying to aim this thing while all these guys are playing. This is so stupid. Stupid. That's why all these people that love the Switch, I love my... you don't have a Nintendo Switch, Chad? I'm literally the only person in the world without a Nintendo Switch. I will never buy one. This is why. This right here is why. Because this is Nintendo, and they will never stop being Nintendo. Even Mario Kart World, I can smell the gimmick. Everyone's like, oh, it looks like Diddy Kong Racing. They won't make another Diddy Kong Racing. When Nintendo makes Diddy Kong Racing again, maybe they'll get my fucking win. Maybe they'll get my money. Why would I give Nintendo money when I can literally just play Mario Sunshine for free? PC Master Race, ladies and gentlemen. PC Master Race for life. Because on PC, if you don't like it, you didn't waste your money. It's literally just like hitting the fence. And you gotta imagine, I bought this game back in the day, okay? I was so angry at it. I was so mad. I sold my GameCube because of this game. There was no turning back for me. And I absolutely hated it. And sure, Metroid Prime and stuff is good, and we were playing that the other day. But like, Nintendo sold off retro. They got rid of retro. Like, the people that make Metroid now aren't retro. So it doesn't even matter to me. You know, Microsoft screwed up Halo by selling off Bungie, but look what Bungie's going through right now. Like, they probably had an idea. Like, there's just no way to hit them. But like, Microsoft doesn't need Halo. Like, Game Pass is not required by Halo, you know what I mean? Like, Halo's sucked for 15 years and nobody cares. Haha, Ven and George talking. Wow. That is like two worlds right there going on. I've known both guys for a long time. How you boys doing? Stream going okay? Minus my complaining. Super Mario Carbon Tax. Like, he's not even like hitting, he's just hitting the fence. I don't know what to do. I honestly don't know what to do. Yeah, that's it. I don't have two Xbox Series X's, buddy. I only have one. Oh, I have two. Sorry, you're right. I have my PC and my Xbox Series X. You want to see frustration? You want to see the epitome of frustration? I'll show you the other level. It is literally Miyamoto's FU to gamers. It was almost like Nintendo said, we don't like money anymore. We hate money. We don't want money. And gamers are like, okay. And they gave all the money to PlayStation. Look at this mess of a level. This disaster of game design. Miyamoto was smoking rock. I wonder how good the Nintendo crack was, because like it had to have been plentiful. There must have been lots of it. You boys want to hit? Sure. Miyamoto got really addicted to smoking crack at this time, came up with the idea of Mario 64 2, called it Sunshine, and was worried that Sony might steal their ideas. Was worried, genuinely worried, that Sony's gonna steal their ideas. What if somebody takes the water jetpack? What are we gonna do? And Sony's like, don't worry, you can have it. Miyamoto suffering. Aiden, I told you already, I don't have two Xboxes. I have my computer and I have my Xbox. I don't know where you got me having two Series X's for. You're a big silly case. I would rather buy two Xboxes than one Switch and one Xbox. I promised my boss I would buy a Switch too, but that's not happening. I also have this game on Switch unopened. I have the Mario collection unopened, completely sealed in the box, and it shall never be opened. Look at how easy this is compared to what we just went through. And you die? You don't have to delete your messages, Aiden. Ha! There she is, folks. The most frustrating Mario game of all time. And the game that pushed me to other consoles. Thank you, Nintendo. You have never received much money from me since, and you probably won't. But don't worry, I can still play Mario Sunshine whenever I want. So, I think that's it for the stream. I just want to play a little Mario Sunshine, but I don't want to sit here and frustrate myself. Alright, I just want to show you why this is my least favorite Mario game ever, and how Nintendo really screwed up the GameCube era by being a little too... I mean, they just came off the N64 era. They should have been a little more cautious. Like, we were the one company that charged for cartridges, and then nobody bought our system. So we're gonna like make mini discs and worse games, and every GameCube game was worse than its N64 counterpart. Wind Waker was no Ocarina of Time. Mario Sunshine was no Mario 64. Luigi's Mansion, what the hell was that? You know what I mean? But we should make a game then, and that would be amazing. As long as it doesn't contain water backpacks or sunshine, I would be more than, or pollution. I want the game to be full of pollution, but you don't have to clean it. You just have to live with it. And that's all there is to that, folks. I appreciate you watching. I'm going to keep streaming lots of games. I just want to do Mario again. I thought it'd be funny. But we still got Metroid Prime we're playing. We're going to play some Wind Waker and make fun of it. I got every system and every game, okay? So, trust me. I think my next game I'm going to stream is a little surprising. We did Wheel of Fortune a couple weeks ago. That was fun. Who dies in Mario 64? Anyone that bought it and had hopes for the GameCube. The GameCube died in Mario 64. That's what happened. Nintendo was like, let's make cartridges, and Sony was like, let's make CDs, and then Sony sold 100 million units, and N64 sold 30. So, yay. That's amazing. Thank you all very much, and I hope you have a nice day.